Hey guys, if you love QF's content on our free Sundays and Thursday sessions, then please visit our Patreon page in the description and sub to the Black Kluge tier or higher for full access to not only our bonus weekly Tuesday night shows and the alternate Sunday shows you've been missing, but also to the exclusive episodes not available to the lower tiers. It's roughly the price of one coffee a month, and nobody at Starbucks will make you laugh like we do for that kind of scratch. In addition, when you sub to the Black Kluge tier, you'll get 2 weeks advance access to each Thursday session on Patreon before it makes it to YouTube.
Robin, Ronnie, and Chris DeStefano. Been practicing that name all night. DeStefano.
DeStefano.
Chris DeStefano.
DeStefano.
DeStefano. Motherfucker.
I told you to put that accent on the staff.
Oh.
DeStefano.
Chris is... I mean, this is what happened. How do I not know? Chris DeStefano. DeStefano. So you, Ronnie, and Chris DeStefano are going to have to figure out what this guy's thing. Fuck. Let me say it a couple. DeStefano. Chris DeStefano, you and Ronnie are going to have to figure it out. And here we go again. Chris DeStefano.
No, DeStefano.
Chris, your last name drives me fucking nuts. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. It's nice to meet everyone.
Now it's
I'm gonna take it.
DeStefano. Okay, right?
Oh,
That's
nice, Robin. DeStefano.
DeStefano. Yes, Robin nailed it. Yes.
Okay.
Duh. Stefano.
DeStefano.
Yep.
Why is that so hard for me? I'm like an idiot.
I
Hey, I got to take a quick break. Tomorrow, Robin, Ronnie, and comedian Chris DeStefano. I fucking fumble that name every time. Chris DeStefano.
Why doesn't he change his name?
Oh, fuck. Those ethnic names, best to change them for show business. Chris DeStefano. They'll be playing My Freaky Fetish in honor of Cocktober. Wait till you hear.
I'm trying to decide whether I want to win this contest or should I don't want to know maybe I don't want to know what this freaky fetish is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, not fun. It's fucking intense, but. Am I not saying Chris's name right? DeStefano. These guys give me phonetics.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, aka Jim Fix, and with me once again for part 2 of To Stalk, Perchance, To Dream, Miss Kayla. How are you, my dear?
I am good. How are you?
Good. I'm stoked. When life is going nice, it's amazingly de-stressing to watch these nudniks fight each other.
Yes, exactly.
And most people will remember from part 1, they're now just getting into the, Howard's needling Fred a little bit about where his wife is, Allison Norris, and, the problems that they're having. They were just scratching the surface of that. So we're going to continue where we left off, guys, and enjoy the fireworks.
Well, sometimes I see somebody, which is more than I can say for Robin.
I have an assistant who's there every day.
Yeah,
more than your wife
screaming.
There's still one there.
Yeah, there's one we can't find. It's amazing. And I'm the one with the shovel.
Well,
so
you can't find your wife,
It's
so
amazing.
there.
I can find her anytime. I can't find that assistant.
If you go to see that
Let's
play,
find that
buy a
assistant
ticket.
somewhere. Where the hell is she? She's probably in Bimini somewhere.
Buy a ticket.
All right, let me.
Okay, now this is the second. They're talking about Robin's assistants. We've covered this ages before on the show, that she scared one of them so badly that the person quit. Like they just didn't show up one day, and she must have been some powder keg for people to just up and leave like that. Can you imagine?
No. I mean, yes, I could. I was thinking, no, I couldn't imagine working for her crazy
That
ass. But
right.
the poor person, I don't know if it was male or female, probably left fucking traumatized.
I think so.
I mean, seriously, to
Well,
just leave and never show up again.
Well, when you meet crazy people and you know crazy people, and it's socially you can avoid them, but if you have to be in close
Mhm.
proximity with work, or in this case, the assistant, yeah, it's work related. I thought it was an intern. You're not even getting paid for it, and you're getting
Mhm.
abused. But she must have taken some hella abuse from Robin to just up and leave.
She had to have. And if you think too, a lot of these assistants, it's their career to be in the
Yeah.
celebrity world as like a
Yes,
celeb assistant. So she would have known, word would have gotten out,
I
that she
think so.
just up and quit.
Yeah.
So it was so bad, like they just couldn't take it anymore. That's crazy.
And this is before Glassdoor.com, where you could go online and say, "Don't work for Robin
Right.
Quivers." If there's no coffee, expect to be yelled at, and all this shit.
Oh,
So
God.
I can only imagine.
Let me
We
understand
need
something.
baskets.
Can I get off this topic for 1 second?
please.
Don't you dare.
All right, wait a second.
I'm having fun. I don't know about
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
All right. So you're saying you don't see your wife on weekends, and you don't see her.
Well, you don't see your wife hardly either, so.
Right. No, I'm not putting you down. I'm
Oh,
just saying.
I know that. I know that.
I'm just saying you don't see your
You
wife on
don't know
weekends.
that.
I mean,
Will you shut up? It's like every time I try to have a conversation with a guy, she feels so threatened she has to like interject.
It's not threatened.
Yes, she is.
So wait a second. You're saying you don't see your wife on weekends, and you don't see her during the week.
Right.
That's
Which
why
is
you're
the way
upset.
I'd like to see Robin.
I'm just collecting facts.
See, I like my wife.
No,
I like
no.
Robin too,
So
but
things-
she's got bad habits.
So have you accepted now that you're just not going to see your wife that much?
You know what?
Yeah,
I
you have.
never fought with
And
him
you-
at the Rainbow Room.
and you
That's
don't
one thing.
and you don't mind, right?
we just fight here in front of millions of people. It's normal.
So in other words, you're satisfied with the relationship now? You've come to grips
I'm
with
not
it?
satisfied, but at this point in time, I have come to accept
I
things
see.
being the way they are.
All right. That's all I
you
want to
can't
know.
accept me.
Until no, you will never accept.
He'll accept her.
Oh man, because imagine Allison listening to this after the fact and like hearing the show. I mean, they wouldn't have any replay, but if she was listening to it live,
First, that was going to be. Oh, wait. Can we go? Hold on. I got the
Yeah.
Allisons mixed up. I forgot
Yeah.
all of a sudden
Let's-
that
let's
both
say-
wives were Allison.
let's say Allison N.
Okay. Let's go to Allison S.
Okay.
Fred made the comment to Howard, you don't see your wife either.
Much at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's that? Because he's never home or he's
He's
In
in
the
the basement.
basement
He's
with
in
the
the
door
panic room
locked.
with the door locked with Ralph.
oh, so gross. Oh my God. Okay.
He won't
You're a
accept
piece
me.
of work. Because she acts like she likes me from time to time.
I love you.
I don't know about.
I love you. I don't know what to do to show you. What else can I do? What else can I do?
Sure, sure.
Well, I like you, Fred.
Oh,
Yeah.
be quiet.
Yeah, right. Don't even get me started there.
Hey, Fred, I was thinking about your marriage. You
Yeah.
should just every week slip your paycheck under the door to your wife and then leave. And you wouldn't interfere with her life.
It may come to that.
Really?
Isn't there like a direct deposit thing?
Yeah.
You don't even have to go through that whole
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
right. You wouldn't
I'm
even have
gonna
to
talk
slip
to
it under
Gary
the
about
door.
that.
I'm pretty sure that's the way to go on
I
that.
think that might
Wire
be
it right
such a-
into her account.
What is it, Gorilla?
Everybody's calling and wants to know when's the last time Fred had sex.
Well,
long time.
really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Are you in Quivers, sir?
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
You don't have to answer.
I think he's so mad and so
Yes.
just, he is just beside himself. He is talking about it. Like, that's how upset he is by all of this. Sitting there, he's chewing the hell out of that pen again, number one.
Right.
But just to answer that, like, the way that he is, he's
Mhm.
upset.
And isn't it a passive aggressive bitch move to do it on the air? She's not around to defend herself. She's
Mhm.
not, like you're talking about your wife, you're talking about your marriage in front of millions of people, which he said as he just said himself. And you don't have to. Like, you can, like, later on, of course, he must have learned his lesson, because you never hear from, well, obviously now Howard put the edict out. He doesn't want to hear from anybody else on the staff unless, I mean, Robin, all you hear is Robin,
Right.
like this apparition, you barely hear this strained laugh in the distance, maybe, or at the end, I want to thank you for coming in.
Oh,
It's been
God.
so wonderful. I'm just beside myself. know,
Tear.
Tear, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's her bit. Like when James Brown gets the cape draped over his shoulders, head, knees hitting the stage. So he clearly wants to do it, but he's been goaded into it so easily. So yeah, it's right on the press. He's right on the precipice of fuck my wife. Like that's fuck her. I hate her.
He is, and I think what's happening, the more they're talking about it, the more angry now he's getting at her and the
Yes.
situation. It doesn't feel as directed anymore at Robin necessarily. That was absolutely passive aggressive. He probably wanted her to hear it.
I think so. And the other thing is, it seemed. I think it's just the same thing that the other two have. They feel so much more powerful on the air when they're in the studio, and like in their compound, and no one else can get inside. It's protected. I mean, it is a protected environment, so to speak. But the other thing is, he's not even really in the conversation with them. He's there, and he's now in his mind internalizing, because they started him in on his wife, and now he in his brain, he's by himself. He's just going, yeah, the fucking bitch. She takes my money, and she does this shit, and she doesn't screw me, and she's never there to cook dinner, and all this stuff that I expected, and blah 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 blah. And now he's having this conversation with himself.
He sure is. He absolutely is. He's disconnected. He's in his own bubble, because now I think all this stuff is really coming up, and he's like, yeah, I'll just give her direct deposit. Like, he's not even getting mad at Howard for saying the shitty comment.
Yeah.
It's
or
clearly
lay
shifted.
off the wife.
Yeah,
You know,
it's shifted.
Maybe like typically it should be. Look, it's my it's my life, my marriage. Leave, you stay the fuck out of it. It's not your business. That's not even a consideration.
No, it's not. And if you think about it, look, everybody knows I got a divorce or whatever, but during the hard, like the really, really hard times or whatever, I wouldn't put up with it even then. Like, if somebody, unless you're like my friend and we're having like a real conversation about what's going on, and they can say things or they can say shitty things or whatever. But if I were at work or I was in a group where, these people aren't really my friends, I still wouldn't let them talk about him. I would just be like, all right, just shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry about it.
It's not your business.
So it's not anyone's business. And I think for him to be at this point where he can't even, it's like he's forgotten where he's at.
Yes. And again, it's like, well, we said in the part one, wind up toy. Like, you just have to press a couple buttons here and boom, boom, boom. And then automatically, bam. Now the robot lights up and starts walking around the room and will do everything that the instructions say. So Fred doesn't have any self-control, and that's a big issue. Robin doesn't have self-control. Howard certainly doesn't have self-control. When he wants something, He's just going to whine until he gets it. But they're all, in their own way, the same type of person, where the emotions are concerned.
Absolutely. It manifests itself in different ways.
Yeah.
Like, the behavior of it is different, but yeah, they're all out of control.
Amazing.
Territory yet?
No, certainly not.
No, it's not that bad yet. I've been there.
But that's why he's attacking me. See, he can't attack his wife because he's afraid she'll never have sex with him.
Hold on. Let me see if I can push that back, because there was something that was when Gary asked, when Grillo comes in.
When's the last time Fred had sex?
Well,
Grillo. Long time.
really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Are you in Quivers territory yet?
No, certainly not.
No, it's not that bad yet.
Quivers territory.
Oh, I couldn't hear what he said. I was like, in what territory? Oh, my God.
Bache. Yeah. She and people, we talked about that a little in the first episode. Like, she has just done a lot of relationships, and I think ultimately, first of all, she's just unlikable as a human being. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
It takes a very strong person. Now, you'd have to be a stronger personality than her, and very domineering. I think Mr. X was.
Yes, I do too. Like, I think he wasn't putting up with her shit, and he was the dominant one. And that's the only way with these people it's ever going to work, is somebody else has to be in charge.
Yes. And that's her. He became her daddy, basically.
Yeah, he parentified little bratty Robin.
I think so. Yeah.
I've been there.
But that's why he's attacking me. See, he can't attack his wife because he's afraid she'll never have sex with him again.
No, my wife isn't sitting there and commenting on my every move.
You can't get her, so you're attacking me.
Don't even try to bring that.
If it makes you feel any better, I haven't had sex in a week, but I've been sick.
I was cut off for 2 weeks.
I'll have sex with her.
Were you?
Yeah.
You were cut off for 2 weeks?
Why?
Why?
She was mad at me.
Really?
Man.
Why? What could you do?
What is that all about?
What did you do?
You know, seriously, I have never had a situation with my wife where she'd been mad at me for more than 5 minutes.
Now, were you?
What? Stop. Stop it. Stop.
We have the breakdowns, the lie of the day. That would have been the lie of the century at that point. I mean, God, we have how many episodes have we covered where Allison's on the phone and she's clearly pissed the fuck off? You think she was getting off the phone going, "Oh, that's just his way."
I know. And those arguments on the phone started well before the phone call. So he's trying to be all superior right now. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Stop.
You speaking?
Well, you're lucky.
Your wife withholds sex?
Oh my God.
Your
And
wife
they
cuts
don't
you off.
speak.
Well, no, it wasn't. It's not that.
Then what you must have done? What'd you have an affair?
No.
What did you
It was
do?
only 2 weeks.
What'd you do?
It was just we disagreed about something, and then
Like
it just
what?
turns into a silly fight. You know, you can't even remember. It's like starts out stupid.
You remember.
And you argue about something, and then you get it, and we get into like a big argument about it.
Wow, you
And then
guys have poor communication skills.
We do. We agree. We
Yeah.
agree. We're working on communicating better.
Are you going to be in a counselor?
Well, Bowie himself has horrible communication skills. We know that. And withholding sex, is that a punishment for that's either a punishment for Gary or a reward for Mary?
Well, it's a reward for Mary, but let's
Yeah.
be honest. Withholding sex, I think that's stupid anyway. Nobody withholds it like, no, I'm not. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But I think really what happens, you're fucking fighting. You hate each other. One person's mad at the other one.
You don't want to
You're not
see
gonna
each
just
other.
Start doing it. I mean, maybe some people do. I don't know. But I could see if you're in like a huge fight that like lasts for a while, you're not gonna.
Do you believe? I believe Gary did cheat on his wife many times. Do you believe all those rumors? I think so, because he was cut so bad by Mary, and he was made into Mr. Mom in such a way that I think that was his way of getting back.
I agree. And things like Howard just said right there when he goes, "Oh, what'd you do? Cheat?" Why would you say that? Why would that be a go-to comment?
It seems to be a recurring theme with Bowie, and also, first of all, it sounds also like what Howard would do, and which he probably has done already at this point in his career. But I mean, not just with Ralph. I mean, with other people, and ultimately later on with Cabby and whoever else, they decided to go whatever deviant way he wanted to go. But not that homosexuality is deviant, guys. I'm saying the trans fetishes and all that stuff. And again, not deviant anymore, apparently. So like scat fetishes and stuff like that he's going into. I think that with Bowie, it's just Ross is the influence there, because Ross totally looks like that scumbag who would just cheat. He would just get whatever he wants anytime he wants. Coke, broads, booze, go for it. Full hedonism all the way, and justified by saying, look, I'm bringing in the bread, or, what she doesn't know, it's 500 miles away, blah, blah, blah. You don't say anything. You don't embarrass them, whatever. There's a lot of guys, and especially in Europe, who feel that as long as you're taking care of business and you do everything at home and you get a little on the side, it's acceptable. And some wives are like that also in Europe as well. They do feel that, look, he's not going to make a mockery of me in front of other people, except to this person that he's screwing, but who may or may not know that he's married, but they're okay with it as long as there's some kind of it's a system. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I think that's not just Europe. I think that's everywhere. I think many people do it. Especially if you're somebody maybe that travels for work. I think it's really easy, and you have,
Especially
maybe you
now.
have exactly.
Tinder,
and I do think
whatever.
that's a thing. Yeah. And especially somebody like Bowie, I also feel like you're a little bit more vulnerable to it in this industry where things are just thrown at you all the time. Not that,
agree.
Bowie is some kind of hot guy or like A-list, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. He's in the industry. There's people always around. There's always some kind of hanger on, no matter the level of the celebrity. So I think it would just be super easy. And to your point, I think that would be like Mary wouldn't want to leave him for whatever reason, but she absolutely would punish him for years and years if she found out.
Yeah. And at this point, I think I don't know if she knows. We don't know. We'll never know. That's their business. But if she does know, she's justifying it by saying, you know what, I can punish him. Like, I don't care. I'm really in it. I was in it for the money, and I've got the kids, and that's what I wanted. And I think it's demented. But there are people like that. They're like, we'll trade that. That's a trade-off.
Yeah, and I do think there are people like that too. Like she doesn't have to work. She likes her lifestyle, so maybe she just likes the lifestyle more, and
Right.
it's a sacrifice she's willing to make, not to have to give it up.
And as a bonus, if I don't have to ever fuck him again, and someone else can do that fucking mercy mission, then that's great.
Right. And
So-
she gets ammunition against him at the same time. So hey,
Yes.
it's a win-win.
100%.
Slings
No,
are
we're
pretty soon,
fine.
too.
Yeah,
I don't get where a wife says, I'm not giving you sex.
She didn't say she wasn't giving it to me. It was just obvious when we got in bed that it
there
wasn't
was
going to
gonna be
happen.
none.
Gary,
Really?
Yeah.
it starts out that way, then your wife ends up dancing
And
nude
then-
on a bar.
But you know
And you want to know why? Is that how it happened for you?
I tell you.
You used to fight and not get sex? You see, my wife has never pulled that with me.
But you want to know something? They don't say that.
They don't say it, but you
They
know
don't
not to
say
But they're
say
not in
it.
the
Right.
mood.
But it's like all of a sudden, so you're coming home and
See,
nobody's got
marriage
their
is a
legs
deal.
spread.
Let me tell you something about marriage. Marriage, where a guy is giving up the thing he holds most precious in life, going
It's
out
a
and
weapon.
getting some new sex.
It's a weapon.
And in order, then what a woman does as soon as you get married, she says, now I control
I'm
this.
the only one.
I'm the only one. And that is, then you should have a right to go out and have an affair.
That's like that Sam Kinison routine.
Okay, you could justify just about anything if that's the case. And realistically, I think that there are guys that use that excuse. If the wife's not giving me any, I got to go get some. And all it is a fuck. It's not, there's no emotional
Right.
thing, and I'm not connected to that person. You can justify getting a hand job or something like that. But at the same time, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy.
No, it isn't. And I feel like in this conversation, they're acting like women don't want to have sex either. They're acting like women are just these,
Vessels.
yes, like
Yeah.
these tubes that are just like these mannequins that are inside
Right.
the house that are just,
Sex dolls.
don't really need anything. And I'm just going to hold it against it, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Right.
okay, guys, this is not like 1953.
They're also forgetting the ability to jerk off when you need to get it really badly.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what do people do when they're by themselves? Well, Jesus, that we've that's been studied. So, like this idea that you have, like, it goes straight to, I got to go cheat. Why?
right.
Why can't
like
you just
people-
have self-control? Why can't you say, I'll get it again? This won't be the last time I get it.
Exactly. It's kind of a phase. I think most people know that's been married. You kind of go through phases, and
Yes.
that's just how it is. It's not like food where you like have to, eat every day or like whatever. It's not that barbaric. I don't know. They're just making it like you have no control over
Yes.
it, and like almost like it's a right. Like they
Yeah.
have a right as men to
Yeah.
have this thing. And if their wives aren't giving it, then they're just going to get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's an uncontrollable urge. It must be
Mhm.
sated. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, guys.
Yep. But seriously, man, that's dirty pool.
And you know what's really funny about
Like,
it? Though?
what do you mean you're not going to give me
And
sex?
how
she
could
didn't
you be
say it.
angry that
They never say
long
that.
Yeah, for 2
about
weeks.
nothing?
Well, we were both angry. Just
What were you mad about?
just don't-
Seriously, you know what it was.
It starts out, we just don't agree on
About what?
Stupid things.
Like what? What's your thing?
Oh God.
Give
it
us
might-
an example.
It might be.
You went to Scores.
No, it's not even. It's never stuff like that. It's like so insignificant. I'm serious. I know it sounds stupid, but it might be like
taking out the
I
trash.
left something someplace that I'm not supposed to leave it, and then
Really?
I'm like, well, don't hassle me about that. And she might say, what do you mean I'm hassling you? And then it just
Let me
escalates.
ask you something. When you were going out, did you ever have fights like that?
Never. But I do have to
Did
say,
I tell you your wife would change?
Well, go figure. She wanted that just, to me, that says, well, first of all, when you're dating and you're not living together, you're not spending that much time together.
Right.
You don't get to get annoyed. You don't have enough time to get annoyed by the person. But the other thing is, if Mary was a grifter, that's exactly the move to pull. Don't fight until, you get that ring on.
Well, yeah, it also, so I guess if you are, all right, let's just say, I'm so conflicted right now because I wouldn't have the energy for that. Like I wouldn't, like
a lot of
consciously
work.
make it. It is a lot of fucking work. Like, look, I'm an ass. If I'm going to be an ass, it's going to be now or after we get married. Like I can't hold it. Like there's
Right.
no conscious decision here that says, all right, after May of 2026, then
No,
I'll be a
no.
fucking bitch.
Now we
Like-
can unload.
Right. I don't think it works like that normally, but she also, like when you're dating, you're excited. It's, it's new,
Fresh.
it's fresh. It's like
Yeah.
whatever. When you start living together, I don't care if you're married or not. After a while, you're like, get the fuck out of my face.
It's exactly
It
right.
could be anybody that you're living with, regardless if the relationship is good or bad, is going to have
Yeah.
some crazy fights like that. It just happens. It's not crazy. I know what Gary's saying right here.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had them and you don't have to say, but when you're just like with somebody and you're like, I don't know, pick up your shoes. And the pick up your shoes comment turns into this whole thing if you never help me. And I'm the one that like, it just escalates and grows. That's just what happens. I mean,
Christ, yeah. No, Mrs. Fillmore she's very she's not, I wouldn't say meticulous because now because of me, she's gotten better at being a little bit more, you don't have to have everything matching, like everything has to be like OCD, everything has to be perfectly symmetrical or whatever, but it bothers her because, a lot of it happened from the way she was brought up. Like her mother and dad were very, very clean, very conscious of keeping things neat and tidy, and it was sort of drilled into all the kids, and as a result they're still carrying this around in their head. And I go, look, as long as there's no fucking bugs around, it doesn't matter if you leave your pants there for one more day if you feel like that's it. Like, they don't need to be thrown in the laundry bin, the dirty laundry bin. So just leave it for now, and if it makes you feel better for that day just to be a slob, because you're doing something, you're helping your mental, I'm not saying leave it there for a week, just
of course, because that's another problem.
Right. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
But I've always maintained that people get jobs not to make money. That's the secondary. Like, you have this primary, but it's really secondary. The real reason to get a 9-to-5 is to get away from your wife or spouse for like that time. So you have a break.
Think about, and this is a statistic, you can look up all the divorces and everything that happened as a result of COVID because people weren't getting out of the house to go to work or like, hang out with their friends or whatever. There were a lot of divorces after that period.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean, but that was a precedent. I mean, I don't think that situation, the last time there was a situation I can remember being forced into like close proximity with, just having to be with family, let's say, I wasn't married at the time, but would be Ice Storm 98 when I was still living in Ontario. And from Montreal up until I think I can't know how far. I'm going to say Brockville or maybe Belleville, I suppose. Everybody was stuck in the house. Power lines were down, trees were falling, the ice was fucking destroying things. People were staying in gymnasiums, whatever. And we unfortunately, I say, because we had power, like my sisters-in-laws were with us, my cousins, my uncles and aunts were in the house. There was like too many people. And we got within very little time, it got really annoying.
Of course. Like, I mean, cabin fever is a thing. That is real thing. I will get it. And I live alone. Like, I'll get it. And I'm like going stir crazy because I also work from home. And it's like, I have to make a point to get out of the house or I'll go insane. I couldn't imagine, having somebody here with me 24/7 every day and not be able to get out. I would die or they would die. Like, it's really terrible. You do need a break from people.
Unless they had the habits of a cat, cats will go away and then they'll come back. Like, but they're self-sufficient. Like, they'll go, leave you alone, and then they'll come back. Unless some cats are assholes and they just stay completely away unless you bring food, and it's totally transactional. But it's tough. Then in COVID, you're right. I'd be curious to see what the statistics were. And if you have a link handy, if you know about exactly, please send it to me. But otherwise, I'd love to read about that.
Jane, be honest.
Even when you live together, you
didn't you tell me Mary's not like that?
She's not.
Yeah, but she is, isn't she?
I do have to tell you though.
Who are you married to now?
The best part of this whole thing.
She's been. You know what? She was taken over by a poltergeist.
The best part of this whole thing that happened was when things finally ended. What happened was she sort of said she said something to me that sort of led me to believe that something might happen that night. So like I lit a fire, in the fireplace, and we went into the living room, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and like I put my arm around her, and when she kissed me, it was like the first time because I was like, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get it from my wife.
And what about your teeth? Did they get in the way?
No. But it was like I really didn't know whether I was going to get it from my wife.
Really? Yeah,
like she could have just easily said,
you know what, man, you got to do it the way I do it. No. I just wouldn't care. I'd say, you know what, fine, so don't give me any sex. Who cares?
Well, when you don't want it from a female, it's not that bad of a thing. Like he sounds so laissez-faire. You know, and also he's the first person that would say, "Well, then I'll fuck around on you."
Exactly. He is so nasty right now because this is one of those time periods where he's so full of himself. Like his ego is so overblown. Look, he's always full of himself, but there are periods where it's like super over the top.
Yes.
And right now, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's like, yeah, oh, whatever. You're the biggest baby there is.
Yep.
So if you weren't getting something you wanted, you'd be pitching a fit. No way does he ever go, whatever. I don't care.
Not only that, from what I can tell from the posters, because Gary, I think the Miss America book, so this is past 95 anyway, the 95 through 98, like that's the nadir of the marriage. They're absolutely on the skids. Ashley was the makeup baby to try to create some kind of sense of closeness again. Big mistake, big stupid mistake on their part. And Allison's involved in that as well, obviously. She made the decision, but she helped make the decision anyway. And I think that, like at this point, he's already been dipping his wick on whatever men, female, I don't know, whoever the fuck, and it's nothing for him. So that's when you have no conscience. Yeah. What difference is it if your wife, gives it to you or not? You'll find it somewhere else. You'll pay for it if you have to.
And I think he's in that period right now where he knows it's over and he's completely detached from her and he probably doesn't give a fuck, but this isn't coming, but that's where it's coming from. It's not coming from he's so cool that like, you know.
Right. Or he has her wrapped around his finger, that kind of thing. No, it's bluster, but it's not, it's disguised bluster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Withhold it. See if I care. As far as my friend Fred goes.
Now he's your friend.
He's my friend. He's always been my friend. Let me tell you something. He might not think of me as a friend, but I think of him as a friend. No, I am very concerned about his marriage. No man should be tortured like this. He did not get into this marriage with this kind of arrangement.
Well, it didn't start out that way.
And he was never consulted.
He didn't buy into this one, huh?
It didn't start out that way. Somewhere in the mid stages.
You know what I wonder about with Fred? Because I know that like you sort of joke about this on the air now.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever go home and like does Allison ever say, don't talk about it on the air, or do you not have those kind of conversations?
From time to time, things have come up where it's like, I'd rather that you didn't talk about it.
Right.
But, you know, it's part of your life.
That's it.
I agree.
It's part of your life. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Interesting. So he said he admits there's been a discussion about not talking on the air, and here he is talking about it.
But I think it's also different because the conversation has shifted and they're actually taking up for him a little bit. So he probably feels validated and like in their sick way, their little families come together now and he's feeling supported in that sick way, you know?
Yeah.
So he's allowing it.
Not understanding that there is no actual support here. All they're doing is wanting to needle him for details and get salacious, and that's it. They don't care, and they're not his buddies. And he still made that mistake that, oh, these are my friends.
It's easy to do because here's what happens. They've all settled down. They've calmed down. They've stopped poking. They're just talking like friends. Howard says, oh, I care about you. Like they're setting the stage. I bet you, and Fred has gotten comfortable. He's gotten a little bit more comfortable here.
Gary came in, told his little story. Now it's Gary's, that's a fourth person involved. Maybe Jackie's going to share some things, whatever. And now we're just people talking over coffee.
Yep, exactly. And I bet you anything, before we're done, it's going to shift again. And it's going to go right back to being mean to Fred. So we'll see.
Yep.
And Gary's the one who told me just a couple of years ago, Mary's so great.
She's the coolest girl
She's the coolest. Lets me go out. I can do whatever I want. We never fight. It's really, she's not like other girls. Boom, boom, boom. Everything I said about his wife is completely on the money, 100% true.
That's not true. I can hang out with Ross anytime I want.
There you go. I was wrong about that.
If you take the baby.
Yeah. Time.
Let me tell you something, pal. I am Nostradamus when it comes to your wife. And as far as Jackie's wife goes, I couldn't stay married to Jackie's wife for 5 minutes.
You're right.
I couldn't.
You're right.
Well, wait a second.
I could not put up with the so-called...
Wait a minute. Whoa. Because you have told me you could remain married to any woman. You could make it work with anyone.
Except
Well, that was
wife.
a different conversation.
Except his wife. His wife thinks she's women's lib, but she's not.
Okay, except your own wife as well, asshole.
I know. What is he talking about?
Yeah, well, that's
God.
when this stuff finally does come up. Yeah, like afterwards, in retrospect, obviously you could shit on anybody for it, but he really made the big mistake of talking how good his marriage was or how great, blah blah blah, and then put it in a book of all things, and then within the book talked about how difficult things were. I mean, you could see that divorce coming a mile away.
Of course, it's so stereotypical too of a quote normal couple starting out, and then one of them rises and rises. The fame, it just gets higher and higher. The ego gets worse and worse, and it falls apart. Like, it's not the first time this has happened, but he always tries to be so superior to everybody and talk about how great. But then at the same time, he'll flip it and be like, everything's shit. So who knows with him what to believe anyway.
Well, the thing that really kind of disappointed me, I guess I was too naive. And when I was a kid, I would admire Hollywood couples that stayed together, right? Mm-hmm. So Kevin Bacon and Keira Sedgwick for one, Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. And I read later on that number one, Kevin Bacon and his wife have an open relationship, so they can screw whoever they want. And that yes, I read that. It was one of the blinds. They say that's the way they keep it fresh and all this horse shit. Okay, fine, until it's not fresh and you're jealous and stuff. And Paul Newman would fuck around on his wife every chance he got, basically. And that was another. It wasn't an arrangement, but Paul Newman fucked guys as well as women.
What?
That's what I read. Yeah. Yeah. He was AC/DC. And then other couples, I mean, legendarily, I remember Gilbert was talking about it on his podcast about Bob Hope and his wife, Dolores. He left her all the time, and he was fucking around on her with starlets all the time. And to the point where there's a story on, I think it was findtodeath.com, where they talk about Bob Hope, and there's one starlet that killed herself over an affair with Bob Hope, he said to her outright after saying he was not going to see her anymore. He said, "You're not enough of a woman for me to leave my wife for." That's Bob Hope.
Okay. It's not funny. Like, I'm not laughing because this lady killed herself, but first of all, you've got some mental problems if you're killing yourself because somebody, right, that's smart too. Number one, somebody dumps you and you're going to kill yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But number two, it's like Bob Hope.
Yeah, really. Yeah. He wasn't exactly, Adonis, right?
No.
But he was away from the wife and his daughter for so long, and he would go these USO tours to Vietnam, and he'd fuck these girls that were brought along on the shows, and he'd threaten them to leave them in Vietnam if they didn't fuck him.
Jesus Christ. So this is what kills me about Hollywood, how I've done it when I was younger. I haven't in so long, but we put these celebrities up on a pedestal and we just believe everything that's out there. But then I guess you get older, you realize, no, it's all bullshit. It's all fake. Just like Tom Hanks and his wife, what's her name? Rita something?
Rita Wilson.
Yeah, Rita Wilson. They've been together forever and ever, but I'm sure there's bullshit going on with that one. It's not a good, romantic, whatever love story. I am so upset about Kevin Bacon right now that I cannot function. So I need to go.
Well, why did you think it was just?
I love them. I love them.
They seem like a cool couple. His Instagram, I don't know if he play on Twitter. I think he has videos, music stuff. He plays with his brother. He still does the Bacon Brothers stuff, and they seem so down to earth.
That's what it is. They just seem down to earth, and that's probably one where I kind of fell for it a little bit because they do seem so down to earth and it's believable. But I mean, shit, if it works for them, look, I don't know. I don't want that. I wouldn't be involved in that. I'm just very upset right now because I thought maybe they were kind of genuine with maybe a couple bad times here and there, but not like an open marriage. No.
Yeah, I've never, and it's not about being possessive. It's about it's to me it's a horrible look, because if it's if it's open implies to me people know about it. Like that's the idea. Like anybody you get involved in that circle, you think they don't have people they're going to tell about it? Come on.
Well, of course. Yeah, everybody knows, and it's like, what? Look, I don't know. I don't look. I don't have the.
When I read that blind, I thought, okay, so there's no hope ever.
Never.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
That's upsetting to me.
That's a little sad. I mean, now we're gonna have to like throw out, Murder in the First. You're gonna have to throw out, pump up.
I can never watch Footloose again.
Footloose again, exactly. Yeah.
And she thinks she's fighting for every woman, a woman's cause.
Well, she is with Jackie.
Yeah, and she's all confused, and Jackie. So it's like, I don't need that. I think she's a beautiful woman. I would love to have sex with her, but I couldn't marry her. And that's it. You tell her I can't marry her.
Well,
I'll break the news to her when I get home.
Believe me.
He said you could make it work with anyone.
His wife's still pining away from me.
Oh yeah, he used to do that narrative about Nancy wanting to fuck Howard. Now the truth is, if she couldn't have got Jackie, she would have went for Howard. That's just because social climbing. It's not because she was hot for him.
That's different.
Yeah.
That is different. That's not a compliment, Howard.
And at least he's being honest. He couldn't deal with her, not about the feminist bullshit, but he couldn't deal with her because she's independent minded and wants to do her own thing. That's all he's talking about. And we all know at this point now, Alison Stern is doing her PhD. She's trying her master's and her PhD, and she's trying to get out from being a housefrau and becoming independent, working again. And it was in that Emily Stern interview in the New York Post. I think what put him off, what really bothered him, was she went back to the workforce.
Okay, so that's interesting too, that all this is happening around that time as well. So he can't handle, as we know with Beth, he can't handle the spouse or partner, whatever, having their own life, having their own thing. It has to all be about him, revolve around him. They can't do anything better than him. And so that's probably another layer to the dissolving of their marriage, because he couldn't fucking handle that she wanted a job and she wanted her own thing. And to be exactly. So that makes a lot of sense of his dismissive attitude as well.
You're willing to say that's one you couldn't make it work.
That's right.
Busybody can't live with anybody in the goddamn world. And you got
What's that got to do with anything?
I live with you guys every day, don't I?
And she's getting along with you, Jackie.
You make up fights. You make up in 5 minutes. She can't spend 5 minutes with anybody.
Why are you attacking her?
What's that got to do with anything? I'm not trying.
She doesn't want to live with anyone.
No.
Psychopath. Jackie is a psychopath.
Oh, I thought you meant her.
No, I mean you.
Because you have a happy marriage.
Yeah. Because he can't stand it. He has to go home and fight with his wife for 2 weeks on end.
That laugh is truly psychotic. Did you see that?
Yes. I stopped and was like, oh my God. And she did it twice. Look at it again. Look at it. It's crazy.
I mean, there's nerve. Look, there is such a thing as nervous laughter. Everybody has done it in their life once, or at least once in their life. But the amount she does it and the way she does it is demented. I've never seen anybody in my life nervous laugh like this.
No, this is psychotic. She pops up like a Jack in the Box. She's fucking crazy.
Oh,
crazy!
Okay. Let me play it with the sound going. The visual is just it's astounding.
Jackie is a psychopath.
Oh, I thought you meant her.
No, I mean you.
Because you have a happy marriage.
Yeah. Because he can't stand it. He has to go home.
I have to make a GIF of that and just put it on a rotation and put it on the Facebook thing. I'm going to do that. Not now, but I'll have to remind myself to do that. That is beyond demented. She's like one of those dolls off the Twilight Zone.
Yes, it's almost I thought at first she was what's the word? Not joking, but she was doing it on purpose, making fun of something. But then it clicks and no, she's really doing that. That's just her reaction. Ooh. She is a psycho. Demented. Is
that your clinical definition, clinical diagnosis, doctor?
Yes, PhD.
I'm just thinking of that episode of Three's Company with Jeffrey Tambor as the doctor, and he pats the thing and he goes, sofa. They think he's nuts. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have touched you. That's okay, Tom. Touch me. Go on. I really don't want to touch you. I mean, Robin is insane. Like that is something I can't. You guys look for yourself. We've rewound it twice. You can just stop it and play it again and at your leisure. But that is, I'm a little shocked actually. Sorry.
I am too. Like she really is Annabelle.
Wow.
Home and fight with his wife for 2 weeks on end.
You're so silly.
How do you take walking into your house knowing your wife's going to give you crap?
Oh, it's so hard. Man.
I don't know how you do it. I couldn't do it. I would just stay in a hotel. Let her get over it.
She does.
Oh, that's right.
Six-pack on the way home.
No wonder he drinks. No wonder your teeth are big.
Oh. What?
That's how that happened?
Yeah. All right, I got to take a break. And Fred, the way I see it, you don't have it so bad.
No, I'm feeling
At
pretty
least
good
you're
right
alone.
now.
Yeah, Fred's left alone.
I'm dancing on clouds.
I will bet
you're too happy. What are you doing? You're too damn happy.
I'm trying to talk about it.
Yeah, she's 2 days.
I don't know what they're talking about. They don't know anything.
2 days in a row, she's been. I can tell you something.
Anything about me?
I could tell you something.
Freddie, I am very upset with you that you don't know how much I love you.
Oh, well, that's the one thing that you and I will always share. Until the Mongols will never. Who's a Mongol?
Freddie. Robin. So are you upset at Fred?
No, I'm not upset at Fred. Why would I be upset at Fred? I mean, because he misunderstands my love.
I mean, and he was coming back.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oof. I think I need to medicate myself. I mean, I'm starting to feel residual, like awkward for someone. You know, like
right.
Like this is filmed from 30 years ago, and it's still as effective in showing me what a fucking loon she is.
I know. It's so funny you said that because I'm sitting here going, what am I feeling right now? I feel weird. I feel weird watching this. It is embarrassment. And like,
you're right. You're a spectator and you don't want to be.
Yeah. I don't want to be here. It's so awkward.
Listen, I'm to blame. I picked this video. I really didn't. I didn't think it would get this bad.
It's really kind of funny though. Like, look at her face right now. She is. Look at her face. It's
Stepford like emotion in terms of like it's just. What do you mean? What I don't have any problem. What and I just gave Kayla a face of impact like forced emotion, and that's what this is. Talking Tina from the Twilight Zone. Look it up, guys. It's the Telly Savalas episode. It's fantastic. And she's the way she sashayed and swung her fake extensions, whatever. And now I'm going into my compound. Excuse me while I get my Eye of Newt and bat wings.
Oh my God.
I'll get you and your little dog too. Fucking hell.
You pretty viciously.
But you know what? He felt hurt because he didn't understand that this is a tribute I pay to him. So it was an attack for no reason, and therefore I do not consider it an insult.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, the hand gestures, he doesn't understand gaslighting, basically. No, you're fucking on him, and admit it.
It was a tribute.
Yeah, how's it a tribute?
I mean,
no, you don't understand. When I punch you in the face, that's me. That's my love language, honey. Now make me some dinner. God, if you can convince the wife of that, you can convince her of anything, I suppose. Fucking hell. She's just described every battered woman, every fucking abused spouse, fucking marriage. No, that wasn't my fist smashing your jaw. Yeah, how about get some more meatballs there? Those were scrumptious.
When I stab you,
it
means love you.
That's love. You're misunderstanding. That pain you feel, that's misunderstanding. That's your emotion. Yeah, that's feelings without the benefit of intellect to understand that this is my love. This is me expressing myself. Fuck me.
I don't really believe you with that tribute story either.
What do you mean?
I think you look. I mean,
why would I watch? Do I watch people I don't like?
No, but you watch him to get information. You watch him to get stuff to use on the air.
Well, no, that's not true.
Absolutely,
that is not true at all.
Look at her. Now she's staring at the floor when she's been confronted with the truth.
Her hand on her hip, like a little kid who just got caught lying.
Yes,
and so
she cannot make eye contact. Let me start that again, just real quick.
You watch him to get information. You watch him to get stuff to use on the air.
Well, no, that's not true.
Absolutely
That is not true at all. I watch him, and it winds up becoming information. But I watch him because I'm fascinated by him.
Well, sure, he is fascinating.
It's whether the chicken comes before the egg, and truly the fascination came before the information on the air came.
Oh.
I was fascinated, therefore I watched, and then suddenly it was like, Fred has this interesting thing. I don't say it the first time I see it.
Right.
It happens over and over again before it ever becomes farter for the air because I'm just
farter. I don't know that's a New York thing. That's fodder, you fucking idiot. God, that did farter. Yeah. Will the fodder.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Just fascinated by Fred.
Now, are you sort of disappointed that you won't be able to do that anymore?
That's what I was saying. That was the whole gist of the conversation, Ganji, that I looked at the new studio the other day, and the first thing, not the last thing, the first thing I said is I won't be able to watch Fred.
And so he totally misunderstands you.
Absolutely.
I just don't believe that.
You don't believe anything. You don't know.
I totally believe that you are just totally doing this to get more information about Fred for the air.
It winds up being information for the air, but I mean, Jackie's sitting there all the time. Do I watch Jackie the way I watch Fred? No.
Of course.
No, it's not the same thing at all.
And the personal attacks that Fred was making on you, that didn't bother you?
No, they don't bother me because I know that Fred was coming from a place of hurt because he, what is Tom doing over there? What's your problem?
Why are you distracting from that? That is the body language guys would have a field day with that. Talking about something else, trying to avoid get off the topic. She's very uncomfortable right now.
She sure is. She walks around she walks around in life so dramatic, like she is putting on a one-woman show in this big theater production, so over the top and it's about love. Oh, like it's just constant. Everything is and big and like I mean, God, lady, you're crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you know anybody when I was in high school, I knew a couple of pretentious little twats that acted like this a little bit, but that was, again, you could tell it was an affectation. It was painfully obvious. But do you have any adult friends that are this, what's the word? I guess cinematic in real life, they think their life is a play and you're all just bit players?
No, I did have a friend for a very short time that was super dramatic in this way and could never tell a story. It was always always like he was doing literally like a stand-up routine constantly. You could never have a normal conversation. It didn't last long because you can't be friends with those people. It's always like this. There's a
the veneer.
Just such a yes, exactly. And you can't really ever get to know these people. But no, that was the only person I could even think of, and it was nowhere near this extreme. I don't know that I've ever met anyone to this extreme.
Well, I guess that's really the question I'm asking even the listeners or the viewers, as the case may be. If you had a person this well, not just full of themselves, because a lot of people are arrogant, but they have other good qualities, right? They have things that make them, and you don't justify it, but you look past certain flaws, character flaws. But, excuse me, guys, gas. What's that, like Milton Berle joke? I got so much gas, I'm being followed by Arabs. The people that are this, I guess, covered in their own pretense or mired in this self-deception, can you ever really get to know them? And I guess the question I'm asking is, the reason why she doesn't have anybody and has never had anybody is just, yes, she's stuck up her own asshole. But if you ever did get to know the real Robin, wouldn't you turn and run?
Yeah, I don't think there is a real Robin. Like, I think it's so blank in there. Like, it is just, it is so like, I think
construct?
this is her. Yeah, like this is her personality that she's created, because the real thing that's there is so empty and like evil, for lack of a better word. Like, I just think she's so horrible. It's just like a void in there. And this is the personality she's created, because she doesn't really have one.
Yeah, I guess, again, someone would say that if she did suffer, the problems that she claimed in her book, and she was abused, and, let's say she was just physically abused, like just, violently punished as a kid and stuff. She makes these false selves or this grandiose narcissism shit just to protect herself a little bit, but it doesn't end up protecting anything, because she's still stuck with herself and all those memories. So the therapy that she needed to do and continue to do, she stopped. And even now today, I don't know, maybe she is at peace with whatever she is, but whatever she is still a construct.
Of course it is. And you know what's interesting, you talk about that. We talk about how Howard is a narcissist, and obviously Robin is too, but like we know it's in a different way. I would love to, I feel like we're just so deep into Robin because of the book and everything, but it's interesting. I would love to find a video, and there are plenty of them, that talk about borderline personality disorder, because I think Robin has borderline. I really do. I think she's got BPD, because, it would, obviously we can't diagnose or any of that, but the craziness.
We can, because we're not doctors, so it's nothing for us to throw our amateur opinions about.
Exactly. We're just talking and doing the comparisons or whatever, but I'll send you a video. I'm sure Dr. Todd Grande has one, but there's actually another guy that is really good with BPD. So I'm going to send it to you and see what you think based on what they say about it.
Well, yeah, it's certainly like it wouldn't surprise me if she had multiple diagnoses. Howard certainly has more than a few. And when we were still over at Radio Gunk, there was this one girl who they had on who was a psychologist, actually. And it was one of the few early episodes of their show that I really enjoyed. It's long since gone, and she could barely get a fucking word in edgewise. But when she started giving her learned opinion as a fan, like based on the stories, but only based on what we knew of Howard, what he told or what he claimed. And she gave her opinion based on what she thinks is the real truth. It was fascinating. She says, basically at his core, he was a really scared little kid. And, and so but I would love to have that with Robin. And outside of the Dr. Drew narcissism thing, we all know, we know that we needed to get deeper.
Exactly. And Bob probably knows this because of his history and all. But so what's interesting about BPD, and not to go down a tangent on this, but what's interesting is BPD is a narcissist that didn't make. So the child or whatever has got two ways to go. Like, so you become a narcissist to protect yourself when you're little, right? So basically BPD is the mirror of a narcissist.
Okay.
And what's interesting is, and this is from Dr. Sam Vankman. He is on YouTube. He's awesome.
Dr. Sam Vaknin.
Vaknin. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. He is awesome. And Richard Grannon is another one that is really good on narcissism and BPD. So, but basically what's so interesting is narcissist and BPD make very good couples. The way that they play off each other and their their deep internal issues or whatever. Some of the most, quote, successful relationships that like a BPD and a narcissist can have are with each other. It is fascinating.
Interesting.
It is.
And so, because one of Mrs. Fillmore's cousins was diagnosed with the BPD, and it looking at her posts on Facebook, it's not surprising in the slightest. She like, but I'll have to read up a little bit more about it because that's now I'm
yeah.
in. Now it
It's
sounds like
deep.
I got some reading to do, but or at least some viewing at least. So yeah, send me the video
I
in
will.
question
I
or
will. I'm
videos
gonna
in
make a
question,
note.
and I'll
Yeah.
I'll watch them. I'll download them and watch them on the plane ride,
Oh
or
yeah.
layover.
Jumping
What the hell was that?
Exactly.
Problem.
Jumping
What the hell was that?
Attention.
No.
Oh my God.
That
Ooh.
was.
I got to step back here a little bit. Wow. Okay,
Psychotic.
just imagine you get that 3 times a day, 4 times a day during uncomfortable situations. Let's say you're approaching her about some bills that weren't paid. Let's say you're talking about some problem you're having with, your spouse, and it gets really deep, and it has nothing to do with Robin except that you're trying to emote or you're trying to, share something, and she can't handle it, and that's what you get. You'd run.
Of course you would. You would run
Kill
for
it
the
with
hills. Yes. Like, oh my God. This is like a horror movie. This is like the lead up to a horror movie, and she is about to like chop people into pieces. Like,
yes,
she's up there with Jigsaw, and I mean, serious.
Now I have to do a Candyman Photoshop or a Jigsaw for her.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Which one? Candyman?
Yeah, I think Candyman's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, because I've tried the Hellraiser one works sort of, but again, not. I mean, we gotta get close to. I mean, I already did Children of the Pawn, but I gotta see.
Jigsaw would be funny with the circles and stuff over her face too, so that one might be funny too.
All right, I'll get a bunch of them and see which one works best.
Holy shit.
What the hell was that? No, I know that Fred was attacking me because he felt that I was attacking him. So since I was not attacking him, it doesn't bother me. When people are doing things because they don't understand, you have to just, allow it.
Oh my Lord. And then the way she gets out of the laugh and then goes, but seriously. That's the psychotic part, because to laugh like that is got to be enormously painful. Like anybody knows, ask any of you out there with, like, my wife gets sneezing fits sometimes in the morning. She's got to take allergy meds in the morning and in the evening because the sneezes, they're so violent. If they were little girl sneezes like two, like it would be fine, but they're violent, like when the old compressors on old refrigerators kick in, and the only person I've seen with sneezes that bad are my father's, and it drains you. You cannot do anything for the rest of the day. It's no different than if you threw up and your throat gets that that worn out. What she's doing must be I can't even imagine. She's like a virtuoso phony.
She is a complete phony. Like, it is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And now I'm just like, okay, now. Okay, Fred. It's like, all right. I'll have the salmon. Like,
let's go right back into the last bit of that laugh and then going into the talk. Okay, here we go.
No, I know that Fred was attacking me because he felt that I was attacking him. So since I was not attacking him, it doesn't bother me. When people are doing things because they don't understand, you have to just, allow it.
And I mean, but I would say what was he saying here?
He was saying that I've gained weight.
Right.
It's the absolute truth. It's as true as the fact that he drinks coffee in a funny way.
I mean, that's a real personal thing. I mean, that's
apparently to him, coffee drinking is very personal.
God.
Let me try that. Oh God, I just fucking hurt my throat. I won't recover. Hold on, that last little bit right there.
Apparently, to him, coffee drinking is very personal.
God.
I'm gonna have to make this a compilation and put it on YouTube on video because it's I want everybody out there. I'm gonna put it on Facebook. You guys will have already seen it by now because I'll cut it together. And I've I need to
blowing my mind.
I need some air.
I need a drink. I need something. I don't know what I need.
What's your palate cleanse after this?
I think I'm gonna have some wine.
Yeah.
I kind of need a calm
$800
down right now.
$800 bottle of wine.
Yes, $800.
Oh my God.
What can I do about that? You said that. Now put that on tape.
He's the whole second you're attacking his coffee. All right, Quivers.
I don't have time for this, man.
Come on, Fred.
Come on. I don't have time. I really don't have time for this.
It'll take you 2 seconds.
It's already taken more than 2 seconds. Me telling you that I don't have time for this has taken more than 2 seconds. Not only that, Kathy is forbidden it, right, Kathy? See that?
Get away from Fred. Leave him alone.
Kathy's forbidden it. It's like I can't talk to you.
Fred, for the show.
What do you want? What do you want from my life?
I just wanted to find out.
I've given you everything I've had on the air. If that isn't good enough for you, then that's too much. See, you're like a guy who like sucks the marrow out of the bones after you've like eaten the whole meal.
I'm the guy who has a short TV show and needs a little more time.
A short TV show? What are you talking about? A short TV show? This was a TV show?
Well, that little episode with you and Robin.
Get out of here. Well, what about the rest of it?
What rest of it? It's a little short.
No, the whole thing.
But that segment.
Why can't we do? Why can't? No. See, what I can't figure. That's not a whole show.
Yes, it is. That's a whole show.
It's not a show.
It is too.
That's not. Who's producing that?
Well,
that's gonna be a show.
But it's gonna be a show.
Nobody's gonna watch that. Man, they're gonna be.
Oh yeah, we are.
You got that right.
Oh yeah,
you got that right.
Yeah, and I understand Fred not wanting to just fuck. He's just in a pissy mood now because it's the aftermath. But he's also doing work, which is more than Robin's doing. He's putting the carts away back, and I mean, the fact that he has to do that himself is actually just kind of mind-boggling because, you know, look at those carts. It looks like the walls are caving in, like because of them.
So these are. Is this recordings of the show or is this clips and sound effects?
They're sound effect clips.
Okay. All right. That's what I was getting at. Like, yeah. So that's crazy to me.
Right. This is like John Doe's apartment in Seven, except instead of notebooks, it's all these fucking carts. Instead of digitizing it in 1995 when it was completely possible. I've been saying this for a few shows now. You could easily turn these into waveforms back then.
Right.
Like you could make these into wave files and then make your own sound drop board. Like it was really primitive, but you could do it. And I remember E-Bomb's World was the big one at the time. And they had whole soundboards and you could just, soundboard 1, soundboard 2, whatever. Now it's even easier.
So every day before the show, he would get up and pluck out his little sound clips that he was going to use for the day and pop them in the little 8-track machine or like whatever.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
That's exactly what like whatever. Like. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, he has to go file them back. Oh my God, how clunky and just that's crazy to me that at this time it was still like this.
Yeah, and I think like if he cared enough, and as I said it with Carrie, if he cared enough at the time, he would have insisted, said, "Look, guys, just digitize the fucking things. Give me the file. Like even if just render them into digital, I'll organize them myself on the computer if I have to. But someone do some of that work because it's a full-time job."
Yeah, and I wonder if it was just how you get into your habits and you don't want to learn anything new. That's probably what was happening. But when did it change over? Finally.
Serious.
God.
And those first 4 months were littered with fucking mistakes. The first 3 months, at least, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing because it was a brand new system. And they do a couple test shows, which we may go through one day. But it just showed me how little preparation they actually did when they moved. It was literally, we're going to learn on the fly, and any mistakes we made, we'll share them with the audience. And that is so unprofessional.
It really is. I mean, because it was a big deal.
You're paying money now for the fucking show. Like this is what we're paying for, this fucking shitty High School Musical that you guys are putting on?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is a big deal, guys. It's part of your job. What else are you doing?
Like, not
Like,
only
it's
did
what
I
you
have to
do.
buy I had to buy a receiver, but then maybe I had to buy a boom box as well because I need it for the house. But then I got to pay for 2 subscriptions because
Uh-huh.
each individual item doesn't share the same fucking subscription.
That's right. I forgot
And
about that.
if I want Howard TV, I got to pay even more for that monthly.
Jesus. I didn't get that.
No,
I
I
had
mean,
the
what? So
little
did you have the little stiletto?
yes. Uh-huh. I sure did. Yep.
Was it
And then
was it as shitty as people say?
yes.
Yeah.
It was shitty. It was, but I guess at the time, I don't know if I didn't have anything to compare it to. All I do remember is it would cut out all the time.
all
It
the
would
time.
just drop. And even the first time it was in a car was right around 2010-ish,
Okay.
09 or something like that. Somewhere around there was the first time I believe I
Yeah.
had it in a car, and it would even it would cut out then a lot.
Mhm.
And it had that little antenna thing
Oh yeah.
on the back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this was
That's
right around because they didn't start streaming until I think it's well into the 2010s because they were still kind of waiting until I guess smartphones caught up to until they caught up to the smartphone technology.
Yeah.
And Wi-Fi and data was a bit better back in those, like eventually would become better. But I remember specifically at the time, 2006, looking online to see if they were going to stream. There was an option to stream online because all my favorite radio stations back home had the option to listen to them online at that point.
Yeah, that's right. They did. They did by that
And
time.
I go, you guys are charging a premium and you can't, you're trying. And then I realized they're trying to sell hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal.
God,
Like
they were creating their own
proprietary
thing.
hardware. You remember like
Yeah.
Sony laptops, like the Vios, and how you had to buy a Sony charger to use.
Yes,
for
I
that
had
fucking-
one.
Yes, like good machines, but the fact that you had to pay specifically for a Sony cable instead of a generic
Well,
cable or something, Well, I mean,
that's
eventually
still
it
the thing
changed.
because I have an Apple, so everything
yeah,
is Apple,
Well,
right?
yeah,
So same
yeah,
shit. Same
yeah.
shit.
But no, wait a minute, no, but your phone is Apple.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, well, but haven't they gone to USB-C now?
Mm-mm.
It's still a
They have,
proprietary
but it's
cable?
still its own thing. Yeah, it's still its own.
Really? I thought they were going to
Mhm.
Universal, just adopting it because everybody
I don't
else is
think
saying,
so.
"Look, guys, get with it."
Well,
Maybe
I
the
don't
newest
have a new
models.
one. Maybe
Oh,
the
okay.
new model does. I don't know. I have a 13. I think it's old.
Yeah, the new model that you have to like sell a kidney to buy.
Yes, I'm not getting that. I don't care that much. Like, I just
No,
don't care. I don't
no,
care.
it's not essential. Anyway, let's listen to the
No.
words. Let's listen to Fred's wisdom here.
Maybe I'm watching Card Sharks or
But
something.
so it's a little short, so I need time now.
But this is
So I need to fill it
ridiculous
with you.
because I have nothing really good to say about this whole
Well,
thing. This is nuts.
Did you know that?
Ask Robin. Robin probably got a lot more to say. She can probably give you all kinds of.
Did you know that Robin was really upset at the comments that you were saying?
I didn't know that. I mean, she said something about it when she came in the studio. I don't know if she's really upset. If she's upset, I wish that she would come to me and tell me face to face. Then I would deal with it.
But you were pretty vicious with your attacks on her.
She's been pretty vicious on me, my friend, and I think that I showed great restraint, and I was as much of a gentleman as was called to be at that point in time. And I apologize if I've done anything wrong, but I don't think so.
So that's not an apology, and
No.
I apologize.
He's not
if I've done
sorry.
anything wrong. No, he's not.
That's like, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's one of those.
Exactly. Yeah, shit
Like-
non-apology.
Right.
What?
Is that my buddy Fred? Do you guys want to apologize now and make up?
See, this is what I hate. He's like sucking the marrow out of the bones.
I didn't do anything. I
You're
just wanted to
desperate.
be here with
See,
the
he wants to
camera.
knock off Einziger as the producer of the show.
Think so?
I think that's exactly what's going on.
Come on.
I don't know.
He knows
I don't
it's
know.
either this.
Those deadly interviewing techniques of his.
That's what I'm saying. You don't realize, like, he's asked me one question, and basically you have to like get your own interview going because he kind of stands there and.
He will sit there and ask you the same question
Basically,
in a number of different ways.
It's the same question I asked Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
The same question he would have asked. I can imagine him.
Now, the two of them, this is fascinating. This is a conversation about absolutely nothing. It's a filler bullshit thing that two people that are upset with each other do, so they can't bother giving their actual feelings about what just went down.
It's that awkward. We have to talk right now, but I don't want to talk, so I'm just going to say a bunch of words.
Yes, it's all
Yeah.
words. It's word salad for the purpose of
It is.
covering
I don't
this
even know
up.
what they're saying.
They're like,
Exactly.
right, I got a minute left, 30 seconds left, 15 seconds left, and out, and then gone. She's gone. He's gone.
Yeah,
Fucking
she's already
hell.
got her coat on.
Yeah, the chinchilla fur or whatever the fuck it is. Like, she's looking like she's pimping ain't easy here.
Oswald had been like, he'd been standing there the minute he got shot. You know, it's like,
My
you know, the
question
guy with
was-
the hat.
Giving up the information
So,
away.
how does it feel to be shot? It would have been a very penetrating issue, you know, like,
So
not
you
like,
upset
did you
with
do
Mr.
it?
Oswald?
Why did you do it? Or how does your wife feel about that? None of that. So, how does it feel to be shot? How does it feel to be bleeding to death? This is the Mike Ganchi interview hour.
Are you
In fact,
nervous?
you know what he would say to Jack Ruby? So are you really upset with Oswald?
Yeah. Did you really have cancer when you shot him? We have to know. Did you know that going in? Is that why you shot him? If you didn't have cancer, would you have shot Lee Harvey Oswald?
You know what my purpose of this whole thing was? To get you guys together, picking on me. So now you guys are back.
Wait a minute,
you guys are friends again.
No,
You guys
we're always friends.
Being
You guys are now.
unifying. Wait a minute.
Yes,
Wait a
I
minute.
unified.
Is that an ego? Is that an ego? I mean,
I
he
unified you
thinks he's
guys
like the
now.
unifying.
That's what I did.
That's like saying the guy on the ground who was going, "This is terrible. This is the worst of the worst catastrophe." He's like unified the German and the American people after the Hindenburg
His
disaster.
excuse for why everybody hates.
These fabulous analogies from Fred and the lack of funny in the room too. Like this is also well, anger is not necessarily the enemy of comedy. We've all seen funny rants online. Bill Burr's got lots of good ones.
Oh God, yeah.
But I mean, right now it's just so much nothingness, guys. We're padding it. This is not padding it out. There's only about a minute left, so let's find out if anything more comes out of this.
His interviewing techniques and everything else he does. He's the unifying force. We all agree about Ganji.
I hope you become the president of E so we can get rid of you. I'm sorry, Fran.
See you
He's a very
later.
qualified person, but we need him out of here quickly. Please transfer him to the West Coast. This is ridiculous.
Okay, so that thankfully, mercifully, is the end of it, guys. That's completely dysfunctional.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I'm just sitting here stunned still about Robin.
But don't you feel that Fred's kind of his problems are very one-dimensional?
What do you mean?
Just in terms of he's an easy read. Like his problems are very simple. Like you can tell that he's just
yes.
uber defensive, uber sensitive. A time bomb waiting to go off all the time. Like repressed anger all the time.
Yes,
like
that's
you could pick all the symptoms off like check, easy.
Yeah.
But with Robin, it's more. There's more complexity.
Oh, it's way deep. There's a whole vacuum of shit to like stay busy with. Fred to me is just a normal crazy. You know what I mean? Like to me, he's just normal
garden
crazy.
variety nut.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think we've all got our stuff. I do think he had a lot of stuff, and so he has a problem controlling his emotions, and like you said, his anger. But I don't think there's some deep dark. Like I don't even see Fred cheating. To be honest with you, like I don't even see him in that way. I just think he's an angry dude.
Yes.
Back then, I don't know what he's like now, but yeah.
I'd say he's still angry based on the clips we played of him, like with him against Will, and what's the most recent one? I think that's pretty much it. Like that would have been 2009 or so, I suppose, and because he gets so little time on the air.
Yeah,
it's and when he does, it's all about guitar stuff, and he's just talking about this is why this was great. This guy was a great guitar player because blah 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 blah, and then that's it, and then he's out for another year. And then you just hear one sound drop of every show, whatever.
The last thing that I remember that was ever about Fred is them making fun of him going on his motorcycle ride, and Ronnie was there, and that was kind of funny. I forget what Ronnie said, but he had a really funny thing in there, but that's really the last time I remember anything of any kind of attention toward him at all.
Yeah, and I think, guys, that with this episode, even though it's not technically part of the Robin book saga, would absolutely be used as some kind of footnote towards the older, like the book material. And what we'll do is, I'll leave a tag in for it, like for anybody if it's going to be on YouTube for the general public. I definitely recommend you check out the Robin, the Quivers a cunt saga, and use this as just homework for the crazy, because I mean that's the culmination of what cured Robin looks like, and this is post book, so this is what you're seeing. Yeah,
that's cured.
Nuts.
Okay.
Anyway,
yeah.
Do you have a recommendation for a song to leave us out?
Yes, I do. Doll Parts by Hole, because Robin is a hole, and Doll Parts for Annabelle, because she's crazy as hell.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. And guys, we hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Johnny was going to call in with the
later, man. Good, thanks for calling.
All right, Eric.
Announcement.
Take care,
today,
buddy.
He sprained his ankle.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Hey, Eric, I got to run a little.
Take care, buddy.
All right, thanks, Eric.
Oh, wait.
Go fuck yourself.
Anyone looking to go to any concerts this summer?
No.
Check out. Get pre.
No one wants to go. We'll see you, buddy. Bye.
Hank, you're on the air.
Hey now, Howard. Howard.